Right there, the guys at Tracker have asked me to do a little bit of writing for the website, and after writing the book all winter long, I've had enough of writing on the laptop, you know. One thing to type in takes ages, definitely not my strong point, so what I thought I'd do is do a little bit of a blog to camera, much quicker, much easier for me, and let you know what I've been up to over the winter. During October I've been getting up to the St John's on the Linear Complex, you know, the big plateds in there, doing like £45 plus, huge fish, with lots of other backup fish, so you've got a good chance for a bite. And bearing in mind I didn't have anywhere in mind where I wanted to fish, it seemed like the ideal location to do just a few sessions with a chance of a proper photo album gem, but along the way also catching a few. So I went up there in October, like I said, had a £34 common on my first trip, fishing over quite a lot of boilies on a big area of gravel where I'd seen fish showing. The following week I went back, struggled, done a 3-night session, moved about 10 times, finally got on some fish on the last morning of the 3-nighter, and managed to get a £20 ghostie. What I've been doing generally was fishing boilies and fishing little stick mixes to show and fish and stuff. Seemed to be working, but the St John's fish were, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but they're very spooky considering how many of them are in there and how hungry the water should be. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. You could put this down to the amount of pressure these lakes receive. You know, there's probably more people fish around St John's than any other lake in the country, so it's hardly surprising really that the fish were a little bit cute to angling pressure. On the third trip I managed to get into a swim called the Second Point, one of the most productive areas on the water, one of the most favourite swims. Found a nice area out about 80-90 yards, where the bottom came up to about 10 foot with the sort of surrounding water being 12 foot, real nice polished on top. I jumped in there, got 2 baits on the spot, one on a bit of fake corn and one on a yellow pop-up, and then I went round to the no fishing bank, and much short distance from around there, spotted out for about 2 kilos of corn out and about 2 or 3 pints of maggots. Nothing happened during the afternoon. As it got dark I could hear the fish showing, couldn't see them because it was dark, but I could see the ripples coming back bang in line with where I was fishing. And yeah, about midnight one of the rods went off. Unfortunately I lost that, and then I had a couple more takes in quick succession, so both rods were going on the spot. Landed a couple of small ones. The following morning all seemed very quiet out where I'd been catching from, where the fish had been showing, but also during the night I'd heard fish round to the right showing, and just as I was thinking about doing my breakfast in the morning, one stuck his head out. I had a third one to play with, so I flicked that out there, little 10mm mainline yellow pop-up. It'd been in the water about a minute, bobbin pulled up tight, I was on it, fish come up to the surface, and I was probably fishing about 70-80 yards out to where this one had shown, and as it's coming across the surface you could see it like just waddling and waddling on it. I thought, cool, that one looks like a good one. It wasn't fighting hard, but just that it was taking me a long time to draw it in, which generally means that it's a good one on the end. Yeah, it came in, and true to form, it was a 39 pounder, one that I wasn't really aware of being in there, but having shown the bailiffs at Linear, they said it's a fish that they knew about. Real nice fish, I was pleased to get that one, and the action didn't stop there either. After that I had 2 more 30s, I think I had 9 fish in the first 24 hours of that session, yeah, 3 30s to 39, and then would you believe it, after getting that many bites, so I had 9, lost 2, so I had 11 takes in 24 hours, and then I didn't get another bite for the remaining 2 nights of my session. In hindsight, what happened I think is the fish moved. You know, the first night I was getting them on the long rod over the corn, then I was catching them casting single hook baits to where I'd seen them show, and like I say, in hindsight it seemed that they passed me and went round to my right and down up to the shallows, which to be honest I'd started on that. After that session it's become apparent that had been going on quite a lot. The fish show out in the main bowl and not often of a night just drift away into the shallows where no one was fishing. So after that session you think I'd been keen to get back down there, but I had a trip booked to Gigantica, and I've been buzzing to go out there ever since the last trip I'd done when I was filming the 3 DVD recorder back in 2010. So yeah, I booked a mate's trip, we all went out there. It was the 3rd week in November, and to be honest, you'll know what it's like when you go to France. You get all excited, don't you, and you've got all preconceived ideas of what you're going to do. In all honesty, it was probably a bit late to go, you know, 3rd week in November, it's cold. Anyway, we got out there, it was going to be a 9-night session, 5 of us, all mates fishing, like Jake Warbar, Matt Quibble, Richie Lofthouse and my friend James Mack, who I used to work with. Yeah, we got out there. First night, caught a 20-pound common, fishing at quite long range over like a light spread of nuts and a few 20mm boilies. And I thought, here we go, we're gonna do all right. You know, I'd come out the draw second last, and to catch one on my first night, I thought it's gonna be all right. It's all right. We'll do all right. And well, little did I know, the next night, eight nights, I didn't get a bite. We had a redraw midweek where I come out second last on the first draw. We had a redraw midweek and I came out last. No good at all. But yeah, Richie managed to bag a few. He had 3 or I think he had 3 and lost 3, or had 4 and lost 3, up to like low 30s, but really nice scaly fish, which is quite a common thing at Gigantica. I'd love to go back, and I will go back again. Also Danny Turtle, the bailiff, he managed to catch a couple of 50s while we were there, including one, I think he called it the Clown, fish that I caught during the 3DVD a couple of years back in 2010, sorry. Weighed in at 46 then, it was now 56, so I'd put on £10. Also Matty Quibble, he had a 57-pound mirror, so that was a 56 or 57-pound mirror on tigers in the edge. Amazing capture, like, and it was great to see Matt catch a fish like that. Made his trip worthwhile and that. So after that I came home, didn't really get back onto St John's. God knows why, I should have done. I was doing all right. Just sort of came back and was a bit deflated, really. You know, I'd had put so much sort of mental thoughts into going to Gigantica and what could be, and it just didn't go to plan. So after struggling there, I've come home. It's now winter, like at the moment as I film this, it's the 31st of January. It's sort of sleeting as I speak, looking very grim. But with February just round the corner, the days are dragging out, the temperature's bound to rise up a bit, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out. I'm going to be fishing a little bit over Ladywell, which was on the Cleveley Fisheries ticket early on. The water's got an average depth of sort of 2.5 to 3.5 foot deep. Well, not even that, yeah, 2 to 3 foot deep. It's a really shallow pit of about 5 to 7 acres. There's some really old carp in there. And I just think on a shallow water like that, you only have to be on them to have a chance, you know. They're never going to be up in mid-water. So yeah, I'm going to have a little dabble at that. There's a big one in there, like a scraper 4-week cluster, that I'd really like to have in the album, so I'm going to have a little go for him. And other than that, later on in the spring, hopefully there's a fish called the Client that I'd really like to catch in a big Cambridgeshire gravel pit. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be up to. And yeah, I'll let you know how I get on, and hopefully see you on the bank sometime.